Naruto is a manga that builds an incredibly cool and complex power system. In that ninja world, the idea of combining the DNA of two legends, Madara Uchiha and Hashirama Senju, has always been fascinating. But what if Naruto Uzumaki himself inherited both of those godly bloodlines? What would the story look like then? Well, everything would probably follow the original timeline at first, until the Chunin Exams. During that time, Orochimaru, a member of the Akatsuki, encountered Team 7. He set his sights on Sasuke's healthy Uchiha body, but he also noticed something special about Naruto. As someone who had lived since the time of the Sannin, back in the Second Great Ninja War, Orochimaru knew exactly who Naruto was. He recognized Naruto as the son of Minato, and also the current jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. On top of that, Orochimaru was aware that Naruto carried the blood of the Uzumaki clan, a clan so powerful in chakra, life force, endurance, and sealing techniques that the entire ninja world had once joined forces to wipe them out. While he left a cursed mark on Sasuke, Orochimaru also grew curious about Naruto and started seeing him as a potential subject for his dark experiments. In one of his secret laboratories, Orochimaru studied ancient scrolls he had stolen from the ruins of Uzushio-gakure and the hidden archives of the Senju clan. That's when he discovered the Heavenly Blood Ritual, a forbidden jutsu that allowed the fusion of DNA from legendary shinobi into one body. Orochimaru believed Naruto was the perfect candidate to survive this brutal process. He secretly planned to kidnap Naruto. The ambush happened during an escort mission to Tsunagakure. Team 7 was traveling through the border between the Land of Fire and the Land of Wind, completely unaware that danger was closing in. Kabuto used a special type of poison that quickly paralyzed Naruto's nervous system, knocking him out cold while his teammates fought off a decoy attack. When Naruto woke up, he found himself strapped to a cold metal table in a dark lab. A burning pain spread through his entire body as Orochimaru injected him with a mixture of combined DNA. The sealing mark on Naruto's stomach lit up in a bright red glow as the Nine Tails chakra instinctively tried to reject the foreign invasion. But it wasn't enough. Naruto's chakra suddenly exploded, breaking the seals around him and partially destroying the lab. The combined DNA of Hashirama and Madara had begun to fuse with his system, and the intense clash of power triggered a reaction that not even Orochimaru had predicted. Through Jiraiya's intelligence network, the third Hokage found out about Orochimaru's plot. Realizing the danger, Hiruzen personally led an elite Anbu team to raid the hidden lab. When they arrived, they found Naruto unconscious. His body was occasionally sprouting small wooden shoots, which would then shrink back into his skin. Hiruzen instantly saw the potential for disaster. If Naruto fully absorbed and began manifesting the powers of both Hashirama and Madara, on top of having the Nine Tails sealed inside him, the result would be a power far too great for any child to control. So, he performed a high-level sealing technique known as the Heavenly Binding Seal, a special jutsu from Konoha designed specifically to suppress bloodline traits. Naruto was brought back to Team 7, but the changes had already begun. During training, Naruto started noticing subtle differences. His healing was ridiculously fast. His stamina now felt like it had no limits. But the most unsettling part were the dreams. He began seeing vivid images of endless forests rising from barren ground and of giant battles where a man with swirling red eyes controlled black flames as dark as night. Sasuke began to sense a strange chakra coming from Naruto, and it triggered a strong reaction in his Sharingan. He grew tense and started challenging Naruto more during training sessions, trying to test his power. Sasuke suspected Naruto was hiding something, and jealousy started creeping in as he watched Naruto grow stronger at an alarming rate. Sakura, worried about the changes in Naruto, dove into medical studies, hoping she could help him somehow. She also noticed how distant Sasuke was becoming and tried her best to bridge the growing gap between the two boys. During a mission to escort a merchant to the Hidden Mist village, Team 7 was ambushed by the 7 ninja swordsmen of the Mist, hired by Orochimaru himself. Leading the group was none other than Zabuza, and by his side stood Haku. The battle exploded with terrifying intensity. Even with his Sharingan, Kakashi struggled to keep up with 7 elite enemies attacking at once. Sasuke fought desperately against Haku's demonic ice mirrors, while Sakura defended the terrified client. Naruto found himself up against Amayuri Ringo. Her twin thunder swords sparked with lightning, clashing against Naruto and forcing him back. Blood splattered as one of the blades cut his cheek, but the wound sealed up almost instantly. The coordinated assault pushed Team 7 to their absolute limits. Kakashi, bleeding from multiple injuries, was starting to falter. Sasuke was forced to his knees by the sheer number of elite enemies. Sakura screamed as another swordsman closed in on her position, and then something snapped inside Naruto. The seal on his stomach burned hot as the Nine Tails chakra started leaking out. But this time, it mixed with something else. Pain shot through his eyes, and suddenly, everything looked sharper. Time seemed to slow. Naruto could see every little movement of his enemies, but that wasn't the end. As Naruto's emotions surged, sharp wooden spikes burst from the ground around him, forcing Amayuri to jump back. His hands formed hand signs he had never learned before, and giant tree roots exploded from beneath, wrapping around 2 of the swordsmen. For a brief but terrifying moment, all 7 swordsmen felt the killing intent of 3 legendary beings fused into one: the Nine Tails, the god of shinobi, and the Uchiha devil. The moment only lasted a few seconds before Naruto collapsed from exhaustion, but it was enough. The enemy was shaken. The swordsman pulled back, choosing to retreat strategically. The journey back to Konoha was tense, filled with unspoken questions. Sasuke walked a few steps behind Naruto. When they stopped to set up camp, Sasuke finally confronted his teammate. He demanded to know how Naruto could possibly have Sharingan powers when only the Uchiha clan was supposed to possess them. Naruto just couldn't answer right. Kakashi stepped in between them, stopping the clash before it got worse, but the damage had already been done. The seed of jealousy had begun to grow into something darker. 2 weeks later, Sasuke left Konoha in the dead of night, following the Sound Ninja who had promised him the power he needed, not just to defeat his brother, but also to surpass his increasingly terrifying teammate. Sensing that Naruto's strange powers were starting to awaken, though still somewhat under control, Orochimaru made his move. He led an army straight to the Leaf Village, determined to reclaim what he called his experiment. The ground of Konoha shook violently as 3 giant snakes smashed through the southern defense wall. Orochimaru stood tall on Manda's head. At the same time, the northern wall collapsed under a surprise attack by Sound Ninja. Inside a secret emergency meeting room, Danzo smirked. He had secretly given Orochimaru detailed maps of the village's defenses, disabling key ceiling barriers. In Danzo's eyes, Naruto was an even greater threat than the pure Nine Tails, a ticking time bomb that needed to be erased. On top of the Hokage Tower, Hiruzen faced his former student. He summoned Enma, who transformed into the adamantine staff. Meanwhile, under the protection of Kakashi and several Chunin, Naruto felt the chakra inside him start to boil. The Nine Tails roared in his mind, begging to be unleashed. At the same time, the DNA of Madara and Hashirama reacted to the chaos outside. The seal placed by the 3rd Hokage was weakening with every second. The battle reached its peak when Hiruzen, fully committed to protecting Naruto and the village, used the Reaper Death Seal. In his final moment, he only managed to seal Orochimaru's arms before collapsing. Orochimaru was forced to retreat. Realizing that his current followers were too weak, Orochimaru shifted his focus. He began gathering a stronger force and manipulating Sasuke, grooming him to become a true rival to Naruto's growing power. 6 months later, deep inside the Ryuchi cave, Sasuke knelt before the great white snake sage, the oldest and most powerful serpent in existence. Orochimaru stood beside him. This was the first step toward gaining Sage Mode, the only power Orochimaru believed could match the dual DNA flowing inside Naruto. "If you're not worthy, the venom will kill you in 3 seconds," the great snake warned. Without hesitation, it lunged forward and sank its fangs into Sasuke's neck. The pain was unbearable, like acid melting every cell in his body. But Sasuke didn't scream. His Sharingan spun wildly, adapting to the surge of foreign chakra invading his system. Snake-like scales started to form around his eyes and arms, a clear sign that his body had accepted the Snake's Age chakra. Over the next 2 years, Sasuke trained relentlessly, growing stronger at an incredible rate, and killed Itachi. He eventually awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan after reading a secret scroll, one that Orochimaru had forged. The scroll claimed to reveal the truth about the Uchiha clan, saying they only wanted peace, but the Leaf Village betrayed and destroyed them out of fear and greed for power and resources. This belief filled Sasuke with deep hatred. Later, he transplanted Itachi's eyes and awakened the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. In Konoha, Kakashi watched Naruto with a worried expression. The third Hokage's seal was weakening quickly. It was becoming obvious as Naruto began emitting a strange blue-red chakra while sleeping. "The seal won't hold much longer," Kakashi reported to Tsunade, who had now become the 5th Hokage. "We need to teach him to control this power before it explodes." Jiraiya took Naruto to the secret shrine of the Uzumaki clan, where ancient sealing techniques were kept. In the dark ritual room, Naruto placed his hand on a chakra crystal, and the spirits of the Uzumaki ancestors appeared. "2 bloodlines run through you," a voice echoed from the Uzumaki spirit. Madara's DNA carries the curse of destruction, while Hashirama's DNA holds the seed of peace. They don't conflict. They are 2 sides of the same coin. You will find a way to balance them. Naruto began his difficult journey to learn how to control the 2 opposing chakra lines. With Yamato's help, he practiced wood release techniques, creating increasingly complex structures. However, when Naruto tried to create a wood golem or something bigger, he failed miserably. Madara's DNA rebelled and the red chakra flared up, causing the wooden statue to crack and burn away. Even his Sharingan couldn't evolve past the 3 Tomoe stage, no matter how hard he focused. "This doesn't make sense," Kakashi said, as he taught Naruto how to use the Sharingan to read movements and cast basic genjutsu. "Your body can't follow the path of both Madara and Hashirama. It can only choose certain aspects from each." It was because of Kurama chakra. Meanwhile, Orochimaru began to manipulate Sasuke, planting the idea that Naruto was becoming a threat to him. He wanted to use Sasuke to fight Naruto and reclaim the results of his own twisted experiments. Naruto's growing power became a hot topic in the Leaf Village. Tsunade, now the 5th Hokage, defended him, but the village council demanded strict surveillance. Sasuke, now a missing 9 with increasingly suspicious actions, was marked for elimination by the Leaf. Using his vast intelligence network, Jiraiya discovered that Sasuke was following Akatsuki's trail. He decided to go investigate, but was killed by the organization. After planning, Akatsuki launched their assault on the Leaf. 6 dark figures in red cloud cloaks approached Konoha. Naruto Uzumaki, the beast with the DNA of Hashirama, Madara, and the 9 tails, Pain whispered, "You will be the perfect gift for our plan." Behind them, another figure followed silently. Sasuke Uchiha with his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. He wasn't officially part of Akatsuki, but he was heading toward Konoha with his own goal: to observe Naruto, whom Orochimaru had convinced him was the greatest threat to his mission of saving the Uchiha clan. Shinra Tensei! A wave of invisible force burst out like a nuclear bomb, tearing apart the ground and crushing buildings. In an instant, the heart of Konoha turned into a giant crater. Screams and dust were swallowed by the roar of destruction. Naruto stood there, his blue eyes reflecting the horror in front of him. No scream, no tears. The red-blue chakra around him exploded outward. The ground beneath his feet cracked as plant sprouts burst through. The earth shook as giant roots shot out in every direction, weaving into a living maze aimed at the 6 pains. The thick trees tangled and forced the pains to split up, some even getting injured. The surviving Konoha ninja watched in shock. The scale was massive. Even Pain was struggling to keep up. But large-scale jutsu came at a price. Naruto was already breathing heavily, while Diva Path Pain stood calmly, watching. He was waiting, knowing that his opponent's chakra wasn't infinite. Naruto's chakra was indeed running out fast. Unlike Nagato, the man behind Pain, Naruto didn't have pure Uzumaki chakra, and he still couldn't freely use the Nine Tails power. The trees began to wither and collapse. His blue eyes returned. The Sharingan faded. He dropped to one knee, gasping for air. Hashirama's chakra, Madara's Sharingan, and the Nine Tails. Diva Path Pain stepped forward. I didn't expect Orochimaru to create something this powerful, but power without control is just a burden. In desperation, Naruto reached for the Nine Tails chakra. The beast inside roared in anger, using the moment to break the seal. Red-hot chakra burst out like lava. Naruto's skin began to peel, revealing a layer of dark red chakra around him. At that moment, Kushina and Minato appeared inside his mind and used the adamantine chains to help hold it back. All at once, the Nine Tails sensed the presence of the four people who had once tamed it. "You!" the fox roared. "All of you forced your will on me! Minato! Kushina! Madara! Hashirama!" Naruto suddenly understood. The Nine Tails hated him because it could sense the chakra of all four people who had once broken its will. Minato sealed it. Kushina imprisoned it. Madara controlled it with his Sharingan, and Hashirama defeated it with Wood Release. "I'm not them," Naruto said, walking toward the cage, ignoring his parents' warnings. On the battlefield, Nagato moved in to finish Naruto, who was on his knees, but suddenly a wave of orange-yellow chakra burst out from the boy's body, glowing with intense light. The final clash happened quickly. Nagato died from exhaustion. Watching the battle from a distance, Sasuke saw Naruto's overwhelming power and felt like he no longer had a place in this world. Toby then told him that Naruto could lose control because of Madara's DNA inside him, and only Sasuke, with his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, could stop him. Obsessed with his clan's duty and jealous of Naruto, Sasuke decided to prepare himself carefully for the day he would defeat Naruto. Naruto, hearing that Sasuke was working with the Akatsuki, chased after him to the Kanabi Bridge. Their eyes locked, Sharingan and Naruto's own reflection, two versions of a powerful force, walking different paths, and finally, they clashed. They gave it everything they had. When the smoke cleared, both Naruto and Sasuke lay unconscious in the rubble of the bridge, exhausted and covered in blood. Using the last bit of his strength, Naruto crawled towards Sasuke, activated his Sharingan, and looked deep into his friend's mind. He saw it all. The pain of losing his family, the crushing loneliness, and how Orochimaru had manipulated him with lies. "The Uchiha did so much for the village, Sasuke," Naruto whispered. "You're being used. Itachi never wanted you to go down this path." Sasuke didn't say a word. He stood up slowly and disappeared. But in silence, he began searching for the truth on his own. Realizing they couldn't count on Sasuke to do the job, the Akatsuki played their final card, Kakuzu. A survivor from the early days of the ninja villages, Kakuzu was a monster who carried the DNA of legendary shinobi like Tobirama, Minato, Kagami, Shisui, and even former Kage. Even worse, he now had Rinnegan eyes taken from Nagato's body. Kakuzu planned to use Naruto to activate the forbidden celestial scroll and bring back the Ten Tails. This threat forced the Kage to create a World Ninja Alliance. With 5 hearts, each from a different chakra nature, and now powered by the DNA of great shinobi, Kakuzu was nearly unbeatable. Naruto used wood style to create a forest as a shield, while the Kage launched their attacks. Rock Lee sacrificed himself by opening the 8 gates to destroy Orochimaru. Neji died killing Danzo, now joined the Akatsuki because of his ambition for power. Sasuke appeared mid-battle, used Amaterasu to burn through an Akatsuki army, and saved Naruto from a surprise strike. Naruto and Sasuke faced Kakuzu in a battle that lasted 3 days and nights. Neither side backed down. Kakuzu used every jutsu he could, but the scariest thing was his speed. With Hiraishin and Rinnegan combined, he was almost untouchable. Then came the moment. Naruto and Sasuke were both caught off guard, and Kakuzu appeared right in front of Naruto. Grabbing him with both hands, he yelled, "Preta Path!" and activated his chakra-absorbing power. In seconds, he drained almost all of Kurama's chakra from Naruto. With all the chakra from the other tailed beasts he had gathered, plus the huge amount he just took from Naruto, Kakuzu transformed. He became the vessel for the Ten-Tails. His body grew massive and twisted, with his skin cracking open to reveal a smooth white shell, like porcelain. Naruto collapsed, too weak after losing so much of Kurama's chakra. But then, something no one expected happened. With Kurama's chakra mostly gone, the balance between the three powers inside Naruto, Hashirama's DNA, Madara's DNA, and Kurama, was no longer disrupted. The DNA, which had always been fighting inside him, could now work together. But the process was too intense, and Naruto was far too weak to handle it. Tsunade stepped forward and gave him all of her chakra to stabilize him, knowing it would cost her life. Naruto stood up, his whole body glowing with swirling chakra in 3 colors: green from Hashirama, blue from Madara, and orange-yellow from the remaining 9 tails. He activated Shinsu Senju. Right beside him, Sasuke activated his perfect Snake Sage mode. His Susanoo transformed into a complete full-bodied form, powered up even further by Sage Chakra. He wrapped Shinsu Senju inside it like a shield. Thanks to that Sage Chakra, they could finally counter Kakuzu's truth-seeking orbs, which had been impossible to touch before. They pushed harder and harder until finally they defeated Kakuzu. His twisted body fell apart, and with that, the tailed beasts were set free. Kurama looked at Naruto, nodded, and willingly returned to him, not as a prisoner, but as a true companion. And just like that, the endless cycle of hatred that had lasted for centuries, starting with Madara and Hashirama, finally ended with the two who inherited both their power and their dreams. Those are the main developments. What do you think about this what if? Please leave your comments below. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.